So why does this happen just from a birth rate point of view? Well, there's the cohort theory, which will serve our purposes here as it seems like a fairly accurate one. So each generation, we have noticed, if you read any book on this from any generation, there will be discussion of how there is less religion in the context, and they'll generally be saying this is a terrible thing. Generally, they'll be saying there is less religion than there used to be in the European context. And according to the cohort theory, this is because people people emulate what they're brought up with. So people born in the 50s, noticing that there isn't so much religion, will pass that on to their children. And there may have been, okay, of course you can't measure things like this, but let's say Europe was 50% religious in the 50s. Well, people who are raising children then in the 70s are going to be even less religious. And so their children are going to be 25% religious, say, and then the next generation, 12.5% religious. So a movement away from religiosity is passed on through the cohorts, through generations. That's essentially the idea. Now, going into a slightly different discussion, do you know who these two people are? The one on the left is Adolf Hitler, a fascist, a Nazi leader of Germany in the 30s and 40s. And then the other is Joseph Stalin, a communist leader of the USSR in roughly the same time period. Now, why are they relevant? Well, if you look at the essay which I have linked to by Dominika Motak, she says that after the fiasco of the 20th century lay ideologies, so non-religious ideologies, disgraced by the totalitarian systems, modernity gave up on constructing all-encompassing worldviews that could act as sense building for individuals. So this is very much taking Durkheim's idea of things. So with the decline of religion in Europe and the fact that people need some sort of ideology to bind them together as a society, there rose communism and fascism within Europe. However, after the Second World War, particularly with regard to fascism, not with regard to communism, people discovered that these lay ideologies, so ideologies that were not at all focused on the next life, but on organizing nationally within this life, these lay ideologies were terrible things. They led to the genocide inflicted onto the Jews during the Second World War, etc., etc.